Why water is essential for life. Every living thing on Earth needs water to survive. It is one of the only things all life on Earth has in common. That is why, when scientists look for life on other planets, they look for water. Water's importance to life is a result of its chemical structure. A water molecule contains one oxygen atom covalently bonded to two hydrogen atoms. A covalent bond forms when two atoms share electrons. It is the strongest of the chemical bonds. Polar molecules. Oxygen atoms are extremely electronegative, so they pull harder on the electrons from the hydrogen atoms than the hydrogen atoms pull on the electrons from the oxygen atom. The electronegativity of oxygen means the electrons spend slightly more time orbiting the oxygen atom than the hydrogen atoms. As a result, the oxygen in a water molecule is slightly negative, and the hydrogens are positive. When one side of a molecule is positive and the other side is negative, scientists call it a polar molecule. Polar molecules easily dissolve other substances. For example, sugar dissolves in water because sugar molecules are polar like water molecules. The sugar molecules are attracted to the water molecules and separate from each other. Water also dissolves salt. Table salt is made up of sodium and chlorine atoms connected by an ionic bond. An ionic bond forms when one atom gives its electrons to another atom. The two atoms are then attracted to each other because of their opposite charges. When salt is added to water, the positively charged sodium ions are attracted to the negatively charged oxygen side of the water molecules. The negatively charged chloride ions are attracted to the positively charged hydrogen side of the water molecules. When water evaporates, the sugar and salt molecules come back together because the water molecules are no longer holding them apart. Being able to dissolve many substances is one reason that water is essential for life. Water in the blood carries nutrients and wastes throughout both human and animal bodies. Our kidneys use water to send waste out of our bodies as urine. Hydrogen bonds. Water molecules are also attracted to each other. The positively charged hydrogen atoms from one water molecule are attracted to the negatively charged oxygen atoms on other water molecules. These attractions form hydrogen bonds between the water molecules. Hydrogen bonds only form between positively charged hydrogen atoms and either negatively charged oxygen, nitrogen, or fluorine atoms. In rare cases, carbon can also bond with hydrogen to form hydrogen bonds. Cohesion. Hydrogen bonds among water molecules make water very sticky. The water molecules don't easily let go of each other. Another word for molecules that like to stick to each other is cohesion. Water's cohesion is vital to life because it means that water molecules stay together as they move up through plant roots or within blood vessels within the human body, even when it's against the pull of gravity. Without cohesion, water wouldn't be able to carry nutrients through plants and animals. Heat capacity. Heat capacity is the amount of heat needed to change a substance's temperature. Water has a high heat capacity, so it takes a lot of energy to change the temperature of water. Water's high specific heat capacity is the result of the hydrogen bonds that hold the water molecules together. While hydrogen bonds are not as strong as covalent or ionic bonds, it still takes energy to break them. The more energy water has, the fewer hydrogen bonds it has, and the higher its temperature. Solid water or ice has the most hydrogen bonds. Liquid water has some hydrogen bonds, and water vapor, a gas, has no hydrogen bonds. Water's high heat capacity makes it resistant to temperature changes, so it is a liquid across a wide variety of temperatures on Earth. Staying a liquid means that water can transport materials from place to place, such as in a river or within the human body. Water also keeps the temperatures on Earth just right for life. The oceans absorb heat around the equator and distribute it throughout the globe through ocean currents. Water vapor in the atmosphere is an example of a greenhouse gas that traps heat from the sun to keep the Earth warm. Floating ice. Unlike many compounds, water exists in all three states of matter on Earth. Water is also unique because it expands when it changes from a liquid into a solid. Usually, when atoms cool and become liquid, they pack more tightly together. But with water, the opposite happens. Because the atoms in solid water take up more space than the atoms in liquid water, ice is less dense than liquid water and it floats. Floating water makes life possible because it prevents entire oceans from freezing. If ice sank, the freezing temperatures would create layers of ice that would be difficult to thaw because of water's high heat capacity. Since ice floats, liquid water exists under it. Not only does the water provide a habitat for living organisms, but it also prevents the ice from getting so thick that it never melts. DNA and proteins. Water also shapes life. DNA contains all of the information on an organism. It gets its helix shape from interacting with water. The nitrogen bases that make up the code of DNA are hydrophobic. Hydrophobic means they don't mix with water. The sugar backbone of DNA is hydrophilic, so it is attracted to water. DNA controls the body through proteins. Proteins are chains of smaller units called amino acids. Some amino acids are hydrophobic and other amino acids are hydrophilic. The amino acids' interactions with water create the protein shapes that allow proteins to do their jobs in cells. Water also determines the shape of cells. Cytosol, the liquid within cells, is mostly water. Cytosol gives the organelles within the cell room to function to keep the cell alive. Water is necessary for life as we know it on Earth. However, scientists believe life may have evolved on other planets without water. Ammonia is a polar molecule made up of one nitrogen atom and 3 hydrogen atoms. It could function similarly to water in another environment. As scientists explore the solar system and the universe for life, they will need to use what they know about life on Earth to find it in new places.